Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is December the 2nd, 2024. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Outside a little bit of the sniffles, a little bit of the night sniffles, if you will. Though, I've been a little clogged up on and off throughout the day. But I've been pretty good. We got that lasagna. It's Monday. Very Garfield. Let's see how did work go. It's definitely still busy. I was kind of hoping like it might be a little bit of a lull, but that was like maybe an hour or two, and then like nah, we were pretty slammed. So hopefully it's just maybe 2-3 more weeks of this, and then it can really start to go back to normal. A little bit of relaxed fit at work. I really would like that. Also, it's so cold. I hate it. I already had a bit of a like a snafu with the cold today. I have a heater. It's a little lamp, like a heat lamp that they give me. And they give them to a few people throughout the first floor because they know it's so cold. And, obviously people are like, oh, I'm freezing. So being that I have like 2 trash compactors, they're like, yeah, you qualify. So I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. So I go to turn my lamp on and the switch doesn't turn. And this is like a common problem in all of the heaters that we have. So maintenance has to come and try to fix it. And sometimes they can, sometimes they fix it, and they finally just give up, or they like whatever. We got to get like buy a new one. So luckily there was one more left that wasn't broken. So hopefully that rides out for the season. Not just this month, but obviously until it gets warm again. So here's hoping, because I can always layer. I think that was another problem for my day. Was last week I was like rocking like 2 layers, and I was getting a little bit hot in the day because it was like a mid 30s ish. Now that we're dipping, at least at the top of the day, like in the 20s and whatnot, it's like, oh gosh, it's so cold. I do not like that. But we move. It's a reason to stay busy, I suppose. No. But yeah, overall today was good. Workout was good. No complaints there. Though I will say Monday, Tuesday, always so busy. I don't get to get all my machines, but got in, got a good pump, got a good sweat, and then got out of there. So that was solid. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about yesterday, food corner for yesterday at least. I was determined. My plan was, of course, it's usually like a Sunday scran situation, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, put it all together. What do we got? I wanted to make a monster sandwich. I really wish I could have come up with a better description. In my head, I wanted a Scooby-Doo sandwich without all the layers. Just something big. Just a big sandwich. It looked like something out of a cartoon. Looked like a brood witch out of like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I wanted that. I wanted something like that. I wanted to hit like that. And I got it. I made it happen. So I had French baguette. Took half that, ka-chunk. And then was able to, open that one up. And then I proceed to pile on bacon. Then I put on pastrami. And then I put on hard salami. Then I put on some turkey. Black pepper turkey, by the way. I had some lettuce on that thing. I had some American, singles on there. Some cheese singles on there. Had some shredded cheese on there. I'm going to go through the list of just big notes here because, it's important to note. I also posted it on my little, stories or whatever. But we had mustard. We had mayo, put a little olive oil on there, put some sriracha on there. And here's the big 2 hitters. I think that these really stole the show for me, and this is where I was like experimenting. I had just got some kimchi, and I was like, I'm going to put some kimchi on the sandwich. That's what I'm going to do. Also, mind you, I toasted the bread. I put that in the air fryer, got it nice and hot with some salt and butter. So yeah. So I have this kimchi, plop that out throughout. I have this pesto, some new pesto that I got, put that on there. And, I want to say that was more or less it and all this. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. No, I had some red onions. I had some peppers on there. Did I put peppers? Why not put peppers? Oh no, I have banana peppers. Yeah, I had those peppers, not the other peppers I'm thinking of. So yeah, and then just hot sauce. It was great. It was so. I'm sure I'm missing some other little notes or things like that, but no, it was a crazy sandwich. Oh, tomato. Put some tomato on that thing. So yeah, I was giving BLT. I don't know. It was just awesome. It was perhaps the best sandwich I've ever made, and I'm only telling you part one of my meal. Okay, that was the main part. Second part of it, I had some nacho cheese Doritos because I was just in the mood. I was in a sandwich mindset. Now I'm sure what you're saying. Oh, missed opportunity, bro. Why didn't you put the chips on the sandwich, bro? And I'm like, look, it took it took construction work to do what I did. I don't have an engineering degree, but I made that sandwich happen. Okay, yo, like I did what I had to. We couldn't do that. It had to be on the side. So what we had a lot of chips. Let's see. Then I put some mozzarella sticks in the mix because like I was like, well, I mean, I'm already running this air fryer, so let's go ahead and put some of these in there. And then I also added some pretzels that I still had. I still got those things. Like I gotta eat these. But I made the concession, because I'm working on my figure, to not do any butter and salt on them. Just kind of throw them in. So they definitely had like almost like a bagel chip vibe. Only they're pretzels. I don't know. That's how I would describe it. Just like that kind of crisp, kind of crunch. But yeah, no. It was a fun meal. I really enjoyed it. It was really yummy. So saucy. Oh my god, I'm so freaking happy I found a thing of kimchi at Kroger that I can just buy now. Oh my gosh, I'm about to put that thing on. I'm about to put it on everything. Just about to put that fermented shit on everything. Oh, I'm so hype. I'm so hype. Sorry, I don't know why I had to gush so long about this the sandwich, but I mean it's also on brand for me. No, so it is what it is. Let's go ahead and do the startup though. Let's get into it. And yeah, let's do that and then get into the news. Because we got real shit to talk about. None of my fucking sandwich shop bullshit. I will say though, thank you to anyone and everyone, my dear listeners. I'm gonna start saying that more. I notice that's the thing podcasters be saying, dear listeners. I like that. But if you listen to the previous episode, the offbeat, I don't know. I think I kind of want to do a little bit more of that maybe in the future, if and when we have slow days. Though I still maintain that hey, that's on me. You can put that on me. I didn't dig hard enough. But hopefully you didn't hate that episode. Just a little talk about the food corner. What we just did pretty much, and then maybe a quick headline read or something like that or two. But yeah, just appreciate anybody and everyone who listened to that. And obviously any of the episodes, but I know that one I didn't necessarily put as much effort into. It was shorter, but once again, appreciate that. It means a lot. So, cheers to you. Oh yeah, that hit the spot. I hit the spot. Nah. Okay. From CNN, I'm sorry. Israeli strikes kill at least 200 in Gaza as UN halts aid deliveries after more trucks stolen. At least 200 people were killed in Israeli airstrikes on northern Gaza Saturday, according to local health officials, as the United Nations said it would pause aid deliveries through the enclave's main crossing after more of its trucks were stolen. The developments underscore the worsening humanitarian situation in the enclave, where tens of thousands of people have been killed by the Israeli military, and chronic hunger threatens the remaining civilian population. On Friday, excuse me. On Friday, 2 children and a woman were crushed to death while attempting to buy food from a bakery in central Gaza. The deadly strikes also come with an uneasy truce underway between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon, which Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said will allow his forces to focus on Gaza. Speaking to CNN on Sunday, Dr. Hussam Abu Safia director of Kamal Adwan Hospital, said that five buildings housing more than 200 people were struck in the Tal Ar Satar and Bet Lahia areas of northern Gaza. So yeah, I wanted to mention this. Also, something I had forgot to mention when we talked about the World Central Kitchen. That with there was the UN halting aid, but also with the World Central Kitchen, they also had to halt aid because of the situation at hand. That's something that they had did and then wound up resuming. But and I obviously hope that that happens with the UN as well. But that's very detrimental. And like, yes, like you can understand why it's like, well, hey, this isn't a sustainable situation, so we have to do this. And I also understand on the other half of it, because I know I'm sure people who are very ignorant and not really maybe well appraised of the situation go, oh, well, people like gangs and that's the thing that's also very fucked up is that you hear Israel say, well, oh, this is Hamas and they're sowing all this discord in Gaza. It's like, this is what happens when people do not have food, when there is famine. Now, if you hear, Israel say the story, they're like, no, there isn't famine in Gaza. It is, once again, this control of the aid that's coming in, or, the fighting is making it so that we can't get it in, but we're getting in as much aid as we can. But it's very hard to believe that. It just is with just what we've talked about on this podcast and what I hear day in and day out. I do not believe that. So, that all being said, I still obviously want to talk about these things. And I initially just wanted to talk about the aid being halted, but then I heard about the strikes and 200 people dying. So I was like, hey, let's just go ahead and put that on the top of it and kind of work our way down. Obviously, it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. But we're going to keep covering it. We're going to keep talking about it. That's I feel like that's all we really can do. But not to move too quick, I'm going to hit the next story, also from CNN. President Biden pardons his son, Hunter Biden. Now, should I have been surprised? And also, let me do a little side. Let me blog a little bit more. Because I came in so cold, also, I was very tired. Like, today, it's Monday. I'm not my best. That's usually my worst day. It literally is like me revving it up. So I'm tired. I'm cold. I'm irritable just for that alone. I literally had half a thing of Rollos that I bought from Friday that I'm eating just to like make myself feel better. I didn't need to eat that shit. I was filled with that monster sandwich. I did not need to eat that shit, but I did. So I'm over here looking for a new heater, looking for my little new lamp. And, sure enough, one of the guys in maintenance. So, hey, Hunter Biden, that pardon looked like he did it. Like, looked like Joe did it. And I was like, yeah. I couldn't do it. I just wasn't it. And honestly, I would have loved to yap about it. Maybe tomorrow or something I might wind up. I might report back on that later. But like, I couldn't. Like, it wasn't even that like, and let me say this, because I really kind of almost want to riff most of this. I in no way, shape, or form want to defend Joe Biden for this decision. I think it's fucked up. I think it's fucked up. I think it's dumb. Oh, I did it as a father. Blah blah blah. No, bro. Like, this is a use of your power that you shouldn't have, and you're using it. That makes you no different from Trump in so many ways to people, and I completely understand that. And also, just kind of seeing, scrolling through all my social medias and whatnot. Especially, via liberals. In some ways, I get the idea, because, like, especially to a certain extent, and especially if you clock me, top or mid of 2023, look, I've been begging to see, Democrats, like, play by the same tactics as you see the conservatives. You know what I mean? I've talked about team sports and shit like that before on this shit. Like, yeah, but in this regard, the idea of saying, no, I actually think it's kind of base that Biden did it. Like, just, I'm paraphrasing people's tweets and blue sky posts or whatever the fuck. But like, no, I don't think it's cool that he did this. I think it's one of those things where you get to see that, like, oh, these people will use power however they fucking want. It's not just Trump. It's not just the conservative Republican Party. No, when they want to do team sports is when it, benefits them. It's when it advocates what they want. And that's the thing that fucking sucks, because it shows that the machine can work, just not for us. Just never for the little guys. you know? And it's like, well, then why are we voting for you guys? Why are we fucking giving you money? Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine giving to the fucking, Harris campaign and shit? Or the Biden campaign prior? Like, and then you see this shit? I'm sorry. It's stinky. It's not cool. I don't fuck with it. But at the same time, is it funny? Yes. It's got its own kind of like haha hee hee to it, Kamala giggle. But anyway, let me read a little bit. President Joe Biden announced Sunday that he has pardoned his son Hunter Biden, who faced sentencing this month for federal tax and gun convictions, marking a reversal as he prepares to leave office. Today I signed a pardon for my son Hunter, the president said in a statement. It is a full and unconditional pardon, according to a copy of the executive grant of clemency. This official grant of clemency cannot be rescinded by President-elect Donald Trump, which is obviously, worth knowing. Now, I didn't know this. I thought, like, you had to wait to, at least till, like, the sentencing phase of a trial to use your pardon. I didn't know that you could just draw up a blanket pardon for some shit. And literally he did. Like, it's for from January 1st, 2014 to through December 1st of 2024. So it's like he just is covered for everything. So mainly that means the gun charge. That's done. That's gone. Thanos snapped. The tax evasion shit, gone. What? Doesn't matter. Didn't happen. Whatever. Pardoned. Any of the potential like witch trial shit that the Republicans are trying to dredge up and illustrate this whole Biden crime family shit. We've talked about it before throughout the pod. With Hunter Biden becoming like a contractor for Burisma, a Ukrainian fucking company, whatever the fuck. Like all of that shit is gone. It's wiped. He's clean. He's got like the Jeff Probst like survivor immunity like shit around his neck. He's good. He's got immunity. All right. So cool, I guess, because like at the end of the day, you could say, oh, these were politically motivated, da 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 da. But like also, if you were an old Joe, like if your name wasn't Biden and it was Smith or whatever, then you probably would have to deal with some consequences here of getting done up on a gun charge. And yes, did he pay back his taxes after he fucked up and was caught on it? Like, yeah, but you would have to deal with the consequences of that legally if you weren't a Biden. Like, it's like the Bidens are kind of getting to say it both ways here, and I don't like that at all. So no, like, but is this surprising? No. And I also rebuff what they try to say, because there's this idea that like, oh, if Kamala Harris would have won, then he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have issued the pardon. And I think, no, I think that's bullshit. I just don't believe it. I think once you see him do this in any reality, it's Schrodinger's out of the fucking box. Like the cat's out. Like, nah, we know how this is going to play out in every fucking way. If Kamala comes in, this is once again me and my fucking speculation hat, whatever the fuck, future hypothetical land. He's going to push Kamala to do it. And if he couldn't get her to agree to do it 100%, then he would have just done it himself last minute. I don't believe that he would have just let it rock. Like, I think all roads lead to him lying to us, which is yet again another lie that was told to us on that shit. Because he said, I wouldn't pardon my son. I just wouldn't do it. I would let the legal process play itself out. But then now he's saying, oh, it was a politically motivated thing. If he wasn't my son, you wouldn't have come for him like this. Like, bro, I think if he wasn't a fucking diplomat's ass fucking son here, he wouldn't be doing the shit he was doing. Like, once again, we've talked about this shit, and I do agree, yes, are these politically motivated witch hunts? Like, yeah, but at the end of the day, they got him on these two things, like, dead to rights. So, it's sus to me, it's shaded to me. But at the end of the day, they get to do this shit. It is what it is. I think apparently, they say it here, I might be getting it wrong. I think Bill Clinton pardoned his brother or something like that, and then Trump himself pardoned his Jared Kushner's dad or something like that, his son-in-law, I think. So there you go. I mean, this shit is not crazy. It's not new. It just is what it is. Because I will say, like, yes, would any of these charges probably come up for any other diplomat that wasn't like a president, or any politician, I should say, that wasn't a president? Probably not. This shit would probably gotten handled. It probably wouldn't have gotten to the point that it got to. But it doesn't matter. Like, it probably should have. Like, what the fuck? Like, if you're doing something illegal, you should get got for that, right? Like, that's the way this is supposed to work. No, but it is what it is. Actually, I do want to read a little bit from here. In a social media post Sunday night, Trump called the pardon such an abuse and miscarriage of justice. In an apparent joke, Trump also asked whether the pardon includes his supporters who attacked the U.S. Capitol during the January 6, 2021 insurrection, whom he has promised to pardon once he's back in office. Yeah, I think there was two logics of thought with Trump and the January 6th shit. Was he just going to get into office and then like kind of just pretend that, just forget about him? Like, yeah, I was like, playing your sing-alongs to me, from prison or whatever. But like, anyway, I'm back. Whatever, it is what it is. Or is he actually gonna like, pull the lever, let him go, get him out? It looks like he's probably gonna do that. It makes sense, and I mean, he has all the reasons to do it now, right? But I mean, he was probably gonna do it. Period. Oh, here we go. Here's the thing I was mentioning earlier. This is the latest instance of an outgoing president using the pardon power to help a family member. Shortly before they both left office, Bill Clinton pardoned his brother, and Donald Trump pardoned his father, the father of his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. There you go. Also, a random weird pardon that Donald Trump did, Kodak Black. And maybe this is fucked up for me to say. Kind of wish he didn't do that. I think maybe Kodak Black should have stayed in jail. Call me crazy. Call me controversial. Anyway, let me move along. Actually, I'm gonna take a water break. I talked a little bit too long about that shit. And, I have the consumption. Oh, yeah. All right. From People. At least 56 people, including children, are dead after stampede at African soccer game. At least 56 people, including several children, have died following a soccer stadium stampede in southern Guinea. Authorities said. The tragedy unfolded in the West African nation on Sunday, December 1st, during that afternoon final of a local tournament, according to multiple news outlets, including Reuters and CBS News. Following a questionable call, sorry, I got it out of the way, questionable call by a referee on the field, fans threw stones, rushed the pitch, and some were crushed in the process, while others tried to escape the melee by jumping a high fence, according to the Associated Press. Police fired tear gas into the crowd in an effort to restore order, Reuters reported. Let's see. Witnesses at the event, which was a tournament in honor of Guinea's military leader, I'm going to get this wrong, Mamadi Doumbouya, described a terrifying ordeal in which small children were seriously injured. The stone throwing started and the police joined in, firing tear gas, Amara Kandi told Reuters. In the rush and scramble that followed, I saw people fall to the ground, girls and children trampled underfoot. It was horrible. So yeah, that's obviously really sad, really unfortunate, but I wanted to talk about that, say my condolences there. Moving on from grim to gruesome, I don't know, just fucked up. This is a fucked up bit of a true crime bad cop story from CNN. A lot of CNN today. Ex-Kansas detective dies by suicide as long-awaited criminal civil rights trial set to begin, sources say. Now, this is little breaking news, at least in terms of this guy fucking offing his on switch. And you'll get into why I'm not too upset about this. I mean, I'm sure you can kind of smell it from the start of the headline. It is disgraced former Kansas police detective about to stand trial on charges that he kidnapped and I'm just gonna say it. I'm sorry, TikTok. Kidnapped and raped two women decades ago, was found dead in his home Monday morning. Authorities discovered the body of Roger Golubsky, 71, after he failed to show up for jury selection in his long-awaited trial in Topeka. according to two sources with knowledge of the situation. They said he died by suicide. The Kansas Bureau of Investigation said police responded to a 911 call at Golubski's home in Edwardsville just after 9 a.m., where officers found Golubski on his back porch, dead of a gunshot wound. The KBI said in a news release there was no immediate indications of foul play and that Golubski's death remains under investigation. They wanted to add the lead attorney for Golubski added that his death should not be considered an admission of guilt. Okay, that's cool. Awesome. Whatever. I can move on from that. But the retired detective was accused of using his position as a police officer in Kansas City, Kansas, to sexually assault vulnerable black women over the course of decades. Prosecutors said in court filings that Golubski handpicked his victims because he was confident that they would never be believed, which is terrible. Like, he was literally preying on the black community and saying, like, hey, like, you're going to do what I want because no one's going to, one, believe you, and I can get away with it. Or I'm going to make your life terrible. There would be situations where I had read where it's like, oh, yeah, your kids are, in the system. Damn, that's unfortunate. You're going to do what I want because of that, or I'm going to make this impossible for you. Like, just shit like that. Let's see. Let me go ahead. Following a lengthy investigation conducted largely in secret, federal authorities filed a pair of indictments against Golubski in the fall of 2022. The second case accused him of being in cahoots. I gotta say, I like getting to use the word cahoots. With a drug kingpin in the sex trafficking of underage girls. I don't like the last part, okay? I hate that part. I wish that I didn't have to put cahoots with that, But yeah, this is real fucked up shit. This guy obviously is supposed to be protecting and serving, and instead he is literally preying on the community of the people he's supposed to be protecting. And he's working with people he's supposed to be literally locking up. So that's awesome. That's great. Also, it's worth noting that the Kansas, the police department that Golubski is attached to, or was attached to, it was also implicated in at least some of these, civil suits and whatnot. And to me, him, offing his own on switch doesn't change that. At the end of the day, they are equally as culpable. I literally read stories of this guy doing this shit to women in the actual department building. And, they knew it. They caught him. And it's like, but he's one of ours. It's like, no, you are just as complicit. It's all on your hands, too. It's crazy to me that, this is even something that it's like, oh, man, this is crazy. I can't believe this happened. No, you can very well believe this has happened. It's crazy that you guys allowed it to happen for as long as you did. The allegations against Golubski came to light as part of a civil case against him and his former department, alleging that he framed a Kansas City teenager for a double murder in 1994. The man, Lamonte McIntyre, was released from prison in 2017 after more than 23 years behind bars. Could you imagine that? Being buried alive for 23 years for something you didn't do because of some fucking dirty cop, fucking dirty ass detective. The parties settled the case in June of 2022, with county officials agreeing to pay the McIntyres $12.5 million. Shit, I don't think that's enough. You need to run it up, double up. Neither Golubski nor officials from his former department acknowledge any wrongdoing in the connection with this case. And that, to me, is a stinking fucking problem. We get to Pontius Pilate this shit. It's just a little money. No. You're culpable for this shit and more. I'm sorry. It's just, justice is never enough. It just is never enough. And of course, I get to say it for this episode. It goes all the way to the top. Sorry, I always wanted to do that. Put it on my bingo thing. Anyway, like I said, rest in piss, you motherfucker. Random little fun fact here. Rap mogul Jay-Z's social justice nonprofit, Team Rock, even took out a full-page ad in the Washington Post, characterizing the situation as one of the worst examples of abuse of power in U.S. history. Yeah, I agree with our Black Rockefeller here. I feel like at this point I can say that about Jay-Z, and I can say it in a derogatory way, but like, hey, you get to become the hero villain that you wanted to be. A shrewd capitalist. Yeah, you did it, man. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, that's cool that he did that. He's right. Sometimes he's right. Anyway, let's see here. This is more or less what I wanted to cover from this. Like I said, I didn't expect to be covering his unalivement, his self unalivement. But yeah, to that I say, okay, cool. Moving on. Our last story, and it's about beef. Classic. Not that music shit. Not that legal shit. Okay. Anyway, let me take my last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Technically, it's more than beef. All right. This comes from Eating Well. Over 70,000 pounds of chicken, pork, and beef. Oh my gosh, I'm not joining this newsletter article bullshit. Get out of my way. Um, Over 70,000 pounds of chicken, pork, and beef recalled nationwide due to Listeria outbreak. Oh boy. Oh my god, we're back again. There's an active recall on approximately 72,240 pounds of ready to eat meat products, according to the Department of Agriculture's Food and Safety and Inspection Service. This is due to a potential Listeria monocincogenous contamination. Give me points if I got that right. Give me flowers. According to the FSIS report, 23 Shang branded items are impacted by this recall, including pork belly, yummy, chicken legs, yummy, chicken sausage, I'll take it, whole chicken, beef shank, and more. I don't know why I said it like that, but I mean, I get hyped when we're talking about meats. You can find the complete lists and labels on the recall page. The affected products have a printed establishment number P-46684 or EST M46684 and were both sold in retail stores nationwide. Also, this is Shang Farms, I believe, or it might just be Brand LLC. It might not be a farm. I might be getting that wrong. Excuse me. Culmination. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has reported 11 illnesses connected to this recall, affecting 4 states: California, Illinois, New Jersey, and New York. This illness count involves 9 hospitalizations and 1 death. While this investigation is still ongoing, if you have any affected products in your refrigerator or freezer, dispose of them immediately or return to your place of purchase for a refund. Maybe you might not even need your receipt. I know I said that in a previous episode. Maybe that might be wrong. You just come up and hand in the bag like, this is bad meat. You're trying to kill me. And then just give you new meat and you hope that doesn't kill you. But yeah, it's contact Lingley at Shang Food Incorporated. Plant manager. It's not a farm. My bad. I like to incorporate these with farms, but this is it's a plant. At 864-310-6313 or by email at ling16099 at yahoo.com. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you're not eating any of that bad beef or pork or chicken or more. Hopefully you're fine and you're good and you're having some nice and yummy lasagna tonight. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have. Thanks so much for tuning in. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I have to chill. It's Monday. I would like to just cut this off, but I got to sell myself out a little bit. Patreon.com/Isaiah if you'd like to become a newsie. That'd be sweet. That'd be pretty cool. Free ways to hit me up, IsaiahNews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. That's a free way to help out. Hit the like button. Leave a cool comment. Sharing's caring. Feel free to do that on the Spotify. I would love to get some new followers. Say hi. Keeps you up with the Joneses. Also, Spotify Wraps coming up. Hopefully, I'm on your Wrapped. I love that. I love when y'all send me the Wraps. It makes my heart happy. And even if you don't, that's okay. I'm just happy that you press play sometimes. It's pretty sick. It's pretty cool. Now, as I was saying, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully, I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.